Hello everyone, it's Andrea, welcome back. Today we take a look at the AKM, a weapon available for the insurgents as Commander, Observer, Rifleman and Demolition. The AKM was my favorite weapon in the normal Insurgency, and still is in Insurgency Sandstorm. The reason is the weapon is cheap, 3 supplies, and usually you can use this weapon without any attachments, because first of all the iron sights are amazing, the weapon has high damage and the recoil is pretty easy to control even without attachments. You can also attach on a weapon a smoke launcher and an explosive launcher, but now let's take a look at the time it takes to reload with this weapon. Compared to the G3A3 that we've seen in the previous weapon review, the AKM reload is much faster. And I always recommend using the fast reload because we usually don't use all the magazines, and the second more that you have with the fast reload will save your life in many situations. So the AKM has 30 rounds on the magazine and you can have 35 if you put an extended magazine. The weapon also kills on 2 shots on the upper torso and is not affected by armor, the same as the 5.56, which means if the target has heavy armor they will still die with 2 shots in the upper torso. And now let's test the weapon recoil. Okay, first without any attachments. So we can see that it's mostly vertical, going left and right a bit. Now let's do the same thing while crouching. Okay, while crouching seems like the recoil on long burst will switch to the left side. Okay, now let's try just with a foregrip. Okay, we have slightly less recoil and it moves mostly to the left, just a little bit. Okay, we can see that the foregrip has a good impact on the vertical recoil of the weapon, so it's definitely useful. Okay, now just with a compensator. Okay, we can see that during the initial part of the burst, the horizontal recoil is better than the one without any attachments. Okay, the horizontal recoil it's a bit better, but in my opinion not truly worth going just with a compensator. Okay, now foregrip and compensator together. During the first part of the burst, the recoil is pretty good, very straight, but it starts moving the horizontal a bit on long bursts. And we can see while crouching it's actually very good. The weapon becomes much easier to control. Okay, now a final test to see the recoil of the weapon while you are out of stamina. Okay, the vertical recoil it's a bit tougher to control, but it's a straight line because you have a foregrip and a compensator. This is very good, very good. Okay, from this test I can tell you, without attachments the weapon is still good, with a foregrip it's even better, with a compensator in my opinion not really worth it for that slight improvement in horizontal recoil. With both foregrip and compensator it's very good, especially when you run out of stamina because you maintain a vertical recoil. On long bursts you have to take consideration that the horizontal recoil might go a little bit right and left when you are standing. Okay, and now since we have tested the reload and the recoil of the weapon, let's do a little test of the penetration of the weapon. Okay, since we test the penetration with the G3A3 against walls, what I want to do now is test against the wooden cover. Let's see if the AKM can go through 3 wooden covers. Okay, we can see that the AKM went through all the covers and then hit the wall. This is very good to know. So after this little test, I advise to everyone, once they know the maps, once they know the corners where people camp, to try and shoot enemies which are behind cover, behind walls, in those corners that are very hard to reach when you are exposed. It might be a little bit difficult in some maps which are very open, or objectives which are very large, and it's hard to tell in which corners enemy might be. But if you see the flash coming out from the weapon, if you hear sounds, if part of their body is clipping out of the wall, shooting through walls is a good option. And now guys, just a small test to see the weapon, how it performs at distance, how much you have to lead your targets. Okay, at 130 meters the weapon is still hit scan, so you have to aim directly at the target. The accuracy is not perfect, but it's still pretty good. Okay, now it should be around 280 at 300 meters. Okay, you can see that you have to lead your shots a little bit on the second bar on the 4x scope, and it's a bit challenging to kill targets which are moving. So guys, that's it for the AKM. A great weapon, cheap with good penetration, so if you see enemies hiding behind cover, maybe peeking through a wall, shoot directly the cover, the wall, and you can see the bullet go through it, and many times you will kill them. It happened to me a lot of times. Maybe the only downside is that you will be outgunned by some weapons for the security because they have a higher rate of fire. But remember that in a gunfight, it's not just who has the better weapon, but who has better positioning, better aim, and better reaction time. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.